Hello and welcome to another OzyCast. This time we're taking a look at Wildstar. It seems to have been with us for years already, so huge has the hype machine been. It certainly looks the part, but is this a contender for World of Warcraft's crown? Or another doomed attempt to vie for the 7 million subscribers that keep Blizzard Activision in fur? Well, it certainly has a lot going for it. From the family-friendly graphics and slightly unhinged humour, you certainly can be forgiven for thinking that this game is mainstream as its loudest. Sure enough, as you play it, you have this uncanny feeling you have played it before. It is very much like World of Warcraft with a tiny nod to action combat, and that you will be mashing your mouse buttons almost as much as you'll be banging keyboard keys. The game is boasting a lot of standard fare as far as MMORPGs go these days. Customizable characters, 7 playable races, 2 factions, vying for control in a warm war reminiscent of Azeroth at its finest. Oh, and there's player housing. Its familiarity though is already its downfall for this guy. It's that familiarity mixed with the kid-friendly graphics that mark this game out as one to avoid. It's not that it isn't a good game, it is a very good game. But then so is Elder Scrolls and Warcraft, and they charge the same, but manage to avoid the sugar sweetness of this game, well, most of the time. The other problem for me is the price tag. Sure, the devs are saying all the right things to justify such an excessive price, but I still recall EA and BioWare making similar noises about Star Wars The Old Republic, and whilst we are on the subject of SWTOR, that game manages to deliver a better level of storytelling and better combat feel than Wildstar currently does. With that all said, those of us who still play Warcraft will really enjoy the game, simply because it is so similar. I admit I have not given the game much of a go. I have just escaped the most boring starter area I've played in many a long year, but I think that's enough to judge the basic mechanics and give my honest opinion. Some would berate me saying that I should give it at least 5, 10, 20, 30 hours of play before judging the game too harshly, but as I recently commented to a buddy in guild chat, if I'm paying a premium price, I expect a premium experience from minute one. I just don't see how Wildstar will ever be able to match the value for money the current breadth of free-to-play titles already give us. Indeed, I've mentioned SWTOR before and I will again. SWTOR has done sci-fi WoW already, and it did it with cartoony graphics and yet still managed to retain some integrity and maturity in its style. Wildstar is a solid mixture of Western and Eastern styles of play, and yet it lacks that je ne sais quoi which pushes me to want to play the game beyond the start area. That all said, I expect Wildstar will be wildly successful. It is very much a U certificate, which means moms and pops won't mind shelling out the high price tag for little Johnny and Joanna, but I think it will leave older gamers cold. But perhaps that's the point of it. A game that sells to the lowest common denominator will always succeed. The narrative is also unexciting and unimpressive when set against its competitors, as is the combat. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. It is available for free open beta for the next 9 days. Judge for yourself. But be prepared to discover yet another mediocre MMORPG which has been overhyped to the point of craziness. This is Ozymandias for the OzyCast, signing off.